5 acres of land with dismally low crop yields. Floods and pests continuously destroyed their crops, and whatever little was left went to traders and mercenary moneylenders.
Previous to that, to provide support or whatever it is, to dole out something, But his approach was to have a sustainable program, development program with people's participation, with emancipation of the people, empowerment of the people, so that they are no longer dependent on anyone.
It did not take long for Dr. Khan to realise that rural development depended on the updating of institutions and the modernisation of skills in rural society. The traditional forms designed for pre-industrial conditions were hampering a rapid increase in productivity and causing disintegration and conflict.
One thing is that until and unless you make good institutions, you can never sustain the rural development efforts of the people.
In late 1959, starting from Abhay Ashram, the present Bangladesh Rural Academy took root.
Chaudhry Muhammad Ali selected him that as you have resigned from ICS, you are the best and competent person to train the CSPs. That's why he selected him. And Akhtar Hameed said, well, I agree to become director on 2 conditions. Number 1, it should be located in Comilla, because obviously that I fell in love with Comilla. And second, that it should be autonomous, so that I could make experiment the way I want.
When I assumed the directorship of the Rural Development Academy at Comilla, I was a middle-aged man who had for many years remained a pupil of British, Gandhian and American teachers. I thought I knew through direct experience the strength and weakness of their methods, and I aspired to make some new experiments which would carry us a little further than our predecessors.
In those days there were not much development activities. The government did not have any money. There was no rural development program. We as young SDOs used to collect subscriptions from the people for local development. In that situation, Mr. Akhtar Hameed Khan brought ideas to the government through this academy and research that the local people should be involved in development activities.
In the years to come, Comilla Academy became a laboratory researching ideas for the betterment of the poor and training civil servants and officials for rural development.
So that basic message is, if you want to harness the potential of the people who are willing to help themselves, what you need is not do everything for them, is just to create an enabling condition and supportive network. And the basics of that, the components of that, I think we had our first lessons in Comilla Academy, which to these days is very valid.
Some of us were drunk with the idea that we were CSPs. And I remember with great delight how he ticked us off, how he brought us down to earth and said, you think that you are ruling the country, but you are the servants of the country.
It was almost every afternoon he would collect us, all of us, on the back of the pickup, and he would be sitting in the driving seat. Then after 6 or 7 miles, he would say, oh, why chale jao? What? why chale jao? Then he took us all the way, walking back from village to village, sitting with people. And this is the way, not only we had to ask the villagers questions, answer their questions, then summarize.
Most distressing was the fact that the villagers did not have a vision to realize their degrading condition. Of course, there were many leaders. In fact, everyone considered himself a leader. They were very suspicious. If someone approached the villager, he would say, "Surely there's a selfish motive. Otherwise, why should he cajole me?" But I cannot be fooled by him.
People participation was central to the approach that Dr. Khan promoted. He believed that village cooperatives would unite small farmers and help establish order in place of anarchy. They would collect their own capital to acquire new technical and managerial skills and later possibly federate to a greater Thana cooperative association. These could collect larger resources to operate a bank and develop relevant projects needed to support village cooperatives.
The whole question is Akhtar Hameed Khan, when he began his whole question of creating an alternative leadership with a two-tier cooperative system, what basically he was trying to do was get democracy working at a very grassroots level and changing the feudal pattern of leadership that existed to a more democratically elected people's participation, villagers participating system. So it was economic programs definitely, but it was also had a political angle to it.
And rural area people became very close to each other by the cooperative movement. That has taught the people how to cast their vote and how to be democratic in their attitude of life.
Here, Dr. Khan coupled the deep tube well irrigation from West Pakistan with the high-yield rice variety and at the same time introduced indigenous mechanization. Within a short span of time, villagers had much to celebrate as Comilla became the mecca of development philosophies and practices. Thousands of villagers replicated the integrated approach experimented at South Rampur village. A green revolution swept East Pakistan.
And by 1967-68, thousands of farmers and government officers all over the country, starting from the Union Council level, were taught or brought in Comilla, and they are trained how to cultivate high-yielding varieties and how to use the irrigation machinery and all these things. And they are given 5 kgs of high-yielding variety seeds and asked them to go back to their respective unions all over the country. Within 2 to 3 years, all over the country, the high-yielding variety was adopted.
And he introduced these small implements, to cover the losses. Bangladesh predominantly is very rainy season predominant here, about 6-8 months. So you have to save your crop. This thresher you can thresh inside your house. Women can use. Women employed has increased.
সংক্ষেপে বলা কি এটা সেটা আমার ভাষায় ওটা বলতে পারি না যে উনি যে এই গ্রামের জন্য এই গ্রাম না এই ওটা এলাকার জন্য এটা এমন একটা ব্যক্তিত্ব ছিলেন, এমন একটা মহান ব্যক্তি, মানে ওনার দান আমরা যদি বলতে আমরা ভাষায় বলার মতো ওনাকে যে কি দিয়া সন্তুষ্ট করবো তার আমরা বিবেকের কাছে খুবই কম হারাই ফেলছি।
Harnessing people potential became the new development mantra as village cooperatives mushroomed all over the country and the world community bestowed felicitations and honours on the Comilla experiments. The critics were silenced.
And so anybody who is a reformer did not touch my heart. And I thought that, these are reactionary people, people who are trying to postpone the revolution, and that kind of thinking I had. And that way I was very critical about him. I told him that, sir, although you are promoting growth, but what about equity? The Comilla experiment is supposed to have exacerbated inequality in the society. He was not very happy with my question and he gave a long answer. But I must say that, as I grow old, as I become more matured, I deeply appreciate that, carrying out reforms was very important. And because if you do not carry out reforms, then the society does not necessarily have a revolution. The society can relapse into, I would say, anarchy.
he has shown how to change your economic style without disturbing the inherent values that is it in the country. That is the specialty of his thing. He didn't bring in an implant, foreign ideas, to develop the people. He developed the ideas of cooperation, especially,
Perhaps the one cooperative that did the Comilla model proud was the Rickshaw Pullers Association, named after its founder, Didar. This people's cooperative established cooperative shops, schools, healthcare, and fully understood the value of saving for a rainy day.
In 1968, there was a very severe flood in Kumilla villages. I was there at that time. And he was visiting the villages. And the crops were lost, houses were damaged, demolition, all these things. And people were in great distress. Everywhere he was going, he would say, try to give us something, some relief or cash or this and that. He used to no, you save. No other thing, you save. You are to save. Sir, we have lost everything. You are to save. Then once someone said, you are a very cruel person. We are dying and you are saying you are saved. But yes, you are to save.
Dr. Khan's wisdom had won the day, but his real strength lay in the team he pulled together and motivated by example.
Well, I was very embarrassed because I didn't expect him that he will come to receive me at the railway station. Then he drove me to Abhay Ashram. This was the place where the Kumilla Academy started its work. And it was a big tank, and around that there were cottages, thatched cottages in which people were living. So he took me to one cottage and he said, this is where the owner of the ashram used to live, and for 15 years he suffered from TB and then he died. So I was a bit sort of shaken that I'm going to live there. He said, no, it has all been completely disinfected, so don't worry about it.
Alhaj Sirajuddin, he told me that I went to Bard campus to see Dr. Khan, and I was asking people, who is Dr. Akhtar Hameed Khan? They told, the man who is cleaning the cow shed, the cow dung, he is Dr. Akhtar Hameed Khan.